Hi, this is Trendencias. I am Carlos Marrero reporting on the exciting world of fashion, beauty, and entertainment. In fashion, one day you're in, and the next day you out. Oh my God, I've been wanting to say this for a long, long time. I am so excited that you guys are joining us tonight. Tonight is a very special night because I actually have been after this man, not sexually, but as a friend and I just admire him so much. And I'm going to tell him in person in front of you guys, but I live for his style. I live for his dedication and the craftsmanship of his work. He was the very first Project Runway Latino winner, and he's from Colombia. Before I introduce our guest, I gotta say this because I always forget. But please make sure that you follow us on Facebook Live, or in YouTube, and I'm gonna put those links later on. If you choose to start a watch party to share us with some of your friends, there are three little dots at the bottom of your screen, and you can click on those, and you can start a watch party. So I am so excited because finally our schedules were able to match, and this Colombian mega talented designer decided to finally join my Trendencia show. He's here from Fort Lauderdale. I want to welcome the handsome, the most talented, the winner of Project Runway Season 17, Sebastian Grey. John, how are you?
Hello, Carlos. Yes, as you say, finally we were able to meet. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much to make this a space for us to talk about fashion and trends and all the things they involve to create something they start in our head and then we brought it to life and we can, thanks to your show, like we can tell all the process and all the story that is behind of every little thing we do in fashion.
The reason that I started doing the show during the pandemic is because number one, I was bored, and number two, I was like, but number two, I felt like there was so much darkness in the world, and I was like, we need to get away. We need to, for 1 hour or 45 minutes. Sometimes I like to talk a lot, so an hour that we can get away and think of something else that is not the pandemics or the politics or the vaccine or whatever. So I thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so
Before
much.
we start with the show, I want to play a little bit of some clips from the Project Runway. The last couple of episodes, especially my favorite part is when Tim Gunn or Christian Siriano, they go and visit you guys to your pads, to your homes. And I found a little clip from your visit with Christian Siriano. Let's take a look, shall we?
Let's see. Yes.
I haven't been to Fort Lauderdale in a while, but I love it. It's like a gay island.
Hey, hey.
Hi. How are you?
Good to see you.
Oh my God, it's
Welcome.
amazing in here.
Here's my husband, Matthew.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Pleasure, Christian.
Nice to meet you. This is amazing. You can cook, you can work.
That's literally what I did.
I actually had to take my dining room out,
I can tell.
turn the house into his personal studio.
That's a good husband.
Anything I could do to support him. Yeah, absolutely.
My husband is giving me the strength to go through all this.
My angel.
Without him, nothing of this was able to be real.
Wow. Oh my gosh, there's so much.
So the inspiration of my collection came from the baskets that the indigenous in my country make for a palm tree. I tried to recreate the fiber of the palm tree.
It's gorgeous.
And my dad helped me to create these bells. He worked always with leather, so he helped me to make all the bells, all these bags.
Beautiful.
All right. Two things that I want to ask you immediately. How tall is your husband?
Oh, my husband is six point something. I don't remember.
It's like he's like the tower of white man. I love him. He's so
Yeah.
cute. He's adorable. You can tell that he lives for you. Before we keep going, let's talk a little bit about a love story. How did that happen? Was it after you have moved to the States that you meet?
Yes, we meet here. I was working in a hotel, and one of my friends in the hotel say like, "Oh, I have a friend that I want to introduce you. I know you guys are gonna do click." So I start texting him on Facebook. He answered me. Then we went for a date, and whenever divided, like we stayed together since the first date. So it
Wow.
was it was amazing.
So you were you. What's so funny is that you seem like the quiet, sweet, calm, and yet you
Oh
were
no,
the
I'm
predator.
crazy.
You were the like, come over here, baby.
Yes.
Oh my god! So
I'm very crazy. I don't know. It's funny because in the show they were not able to show those moments, so I don't know if they decided not to do it. But always when I was doing a lot of crazy stuff, like there were not cameras around, so the other contestants were like, "Why, when these things are happening, is nobody recording you?" I was like, I don't know, maybe that's I'm lucky enough for it not to happen. But yeah, a lot of people say that like I'm very quiet. Yes, maybe I try to analyze everything a lot, but I'm crazy and wild as you can imagine. Like I
well, and
like
I don't want to ask about those belts hanging from the ceiling on the back because that's gonna take
that.
us.
So you see how crazy I am? Like I have some leather belts hanging from the ceiling so I can tie people here and do kinky stuff. No,
That's
I'm
giving me
joking.
50 Shades of Gray. 50 Shades of Gray, honey.
Yeah, that's what we do here in my studio. No, actually, that's how we hang the clothes. I'm gonna show you here in this little corner.
Oh my
You can
God.
see.
I want that chartreuse coat on the bottom, left on the left. I want that one and the orange. I want it all. I want it all.
Okay, deal. I will send it to you.
So, another question that I had, your father, talk about you being surrounded with the sweetest people in your life. We have your husband. I'm sure your mother is adorable, but I just love that picture of your father helping you with your belt and stuff. You grew up in a business of leatherworks um, in your family. Talk to me a little bit about your upbringing in that business and your father, if you want to say something about
Well, it's like my father has been in the leather business for the past 45 years. He's even working with some of the most recognized designers of my country, making the patterns and making the designs for them.
that. Wow.
So it was always like natural, like see him creating stuff, creating new concepts, and working with always natural materials. Like he hates plastics and all type of stuff. So he was always like, look, touch, this is Napa, this is Gamo, like teaching me the different textures of the leather. So I grew up in that world. In the beginning, he was doing everything. He was doing shoes, he was doing belts, wallets, everything. But he decided that it was too much, so he was just gonna focus like in one item. So he decided to focus just in bags, and that's when I started like getting more involved, understanding how he makes everything. But it's funny because I say I don't want to work with my dad. I don't wanna finish school and come to work in the factory of my father. Like I want to do something different. And it's like
You want to
as
rebel. You want to rebel.
me being different. I went to fashion and I'm doing bags again. So I guess it's in the blood.
I don't have any. I have a couple of things that I wrote down. I didn't have this written down, but how were your? Are you a single? Are you an only child?
No, we are three, and a couple years later, we have a little sister now. My mom loves kids, and she always helped to take care of the other kids in the neighbor where we live. Because you know, in Colombia, like we are very helpful to each other, and when somebody, can you take my care of my kid? I need to go to work, so my mom loves kids. So she did that with Ashley, is the name of the little girl, and she basically grew up with us. So now we are four. Like we start as a three boys, and now we have this little girl that is like the girl that we play, and we try to do every little thing that we were not able to do. Having like our own sister or being so protected with a girl. So that's how we are right now. We are
Have you
four kids.
have you made clothes for her?
Yes, I've been making. I don't know if I made something for her graduation, but I make a couple stuff for her.
Did she?
And actually,
Go ahead.
she was here in Florida when we were doing the videos for Project Runway. So because for the application you have to do a lot of things. So she was my model for the videos. So I was taking measurements of her on her and sending. So she was like the only one that knows in my family what I was doing. But I say when you go back to Colombia, don't say anything because this is like super like
Secret.
they
Top
have
secret.
my soul sign. So like don't say anything.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Speaking of sending your tape and recording that, uh, you did not send your app. You did not start your application. Your husband started the application for you, correct?
Yes, that's
Talk to me
correct.
about that process.
He was the one like the process start because he loved to collect belts, right? So one day he said to me he loved wrestling, so he's into wrestling like crazy.
So
So
wait a minute,
then
wrestling, leather, and belts. This sounds
now
really
you can
interesting.
imagine it's the perfect combination.
Yeah,
And
it's
6 foot something. Imagine that.
exactly.
Can
Yes.
you
All
imagine
right,
that?
all right. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean here. But yes, I love him already. Yes.
So he have this bell, so the entire living room is covered with bells of lucha libre or wrestling, how we call it here. So he say, I want to do this little pillow, so because he have it in case, with lights and everything, he have an entire display. So I say yes. So he saw me doing like these pillows like in 5 seconds, and we did it super quick. And after that, like he put me to sew again. So then I was like, okay, let's start doing new things because people maybe don't know, but when I moved here to the United States, the idea of being a fashion designer was already like done. You know, like I tried for so many years in my country. I worked with the best designers in my country. I did all the runway shows in my country that you want to make, but it was like, okay, it's done. Like,
So you given up. You gave
yeah,
up.
I was like, no more. But when he put me to sew those little pillows, I was like, oh, okay, let's do now some little blouses, and let's do now some little dresses. And I start posting things on Instagram, and friends from Miami were buying, friends from New York were buying, and somebody from nowhere text me on Instagram and say you have to apply to this contest called ET Fashion Awards. Um, so I applied. I ended up being one of the 5 finalists in the category of ready to wear. So then he was like, "You see, we have another contest here." My husband Matthew say, "Like we have here another contest called Project Runway," and I was like, "I think I'm not ready for that." At that moment, my English was really funny. Like I don't know even how to say sim allowance or sewing machine. Like the technical words for my profession were very, very difficult for me. So I was like, no, I don't want people making fun of my accent in my English in the show. Like, I don't know how to say stuff. So he was like, no, no, let's do it, let's do it. I say, no, I'm not gonna do it. So he started filling the application for me.
Wow.
And yes, so he
So
started filling the
seam allowance is a term that you grasped and you just pushed it into every conversation after you learned it, right?
exactly because I was like, that was like the holy, ¿cómo es que se dice el santo grial?
Well, that was your smart term for fashion, like your smart
Exactly.
technical
Everything
term.
was team allowance for me now. I feel it like super smart saying that. So he filled the application and he say, I'm doing this. Now the questions are getting a little bit more personal, so you have to finish. And it was the last day of the application. And it was like 20 minutes for the close. and he said, "I'm not gonna make it. Like I did it to here, so now you have to finish." I said I finished, and 20 minutes later they called me like, "Hi, Sebastian. We saw your application, and we want to see you in Miami for a couple interviews." So I was like, "Wait a minute, but we just
We just
applied
finished sending it. All right.
like exactly like we literally just press send." So that's how it started because him was putting pressure on going to the show.
So were you first of all, I'm I did you watch the show before?
Yes. I
Okay.
watched the season of Christian and I was in love. I was like, how this little kid is able to create because I always have in my mind the Alco Tour challenge they did. I don't remember. It was in teams and he was with this other guy. I think his name is Jade. That he was having like a beer. He was big.
Oh, the heavier guy, Get Jay. He was
Yes.
really good.
And they
Yeah.
did this outfit with this big shoulder that was extending like I don't know, like
7 feet, like
yeah,
Matthew, like
yeah,
as tall.
exactly. I was like, how they do that so quick?
Right.
And I was like super impressed, and that was like the show to watch with one of my friends in Colombia. We sit to sip one or two or three or four bottles of wine, and we were super drunk, designing and trying to do things at the same time, and that's like the thing we did watching the show in Colombia. But we never in my life imagined that I was gonna be part of the show or even like fill the application to send.
Well, and then when you get called for the show and you have to go and get ready, were you intimidated when you get there?
A little bit, but like I was all a little bit extra because they say like bring your collection because we want to see it. And but that time I was already saving for like to put my studio. So I was having already mannequins, I was having my rack, I was having like everything. So I called a friend from Miami and I say, can you bring your truck so I can bring my mannequins, my rack, I can bring a model. So I was like, you have to like this is like they don't call you for these things every day, so you have to be over prepared. So when we arrived to the hotel, I don't remember what was the name of the hotel, but it was like this line of kids going to the audition, and everybody was with the clothes in the arm. I was pulling an entire rack with all the collection, three mannequins full dressed, and my model already dressed. So when the production was like, "Who is all these people and why are you bringing all this?" I go, "No, this is my audition. This is my collection." So it was Michael Costello that was doing the the
Oh, the
audition.
interview. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, with Uli. Do you remember the
I love
blonde girl?
Uli. Yes, I love her.
Yeah, so they were there. And I was like, oh my God, you Uli, Michael. So in that moment, I get a little crazy, but I start like making my setup, and he was like, oh my God, like you're the first one there. He's bringing mannequins, models, and everything. Like we have a rack here for you, and I was like, no, I don't need it, thank you. So then my model came, and they were like, oh, and you bring a model too.
It,
So
you know what it's called? It's called being Latino. If we don't do some telenovela, some Telemundo, Univision stuff, we're not gonna do it. Either we go high or we're just not gonna do it, right?
yeah, so he was like, I need to stand up on my chair and touch your clothes and see your details. So he was like watching everything, and he said to me that if you keep doing what you show us today, we will see you in the finals.
Oh, wow.
I was
But
like,
but I did hear on another interview that you felt that if you made it to the first couple of episodes, you will be okay with that.
even just the first one, my thoughts were like win or be on the top. I was just there trying to show to the world and do connections to show my world, my work and what I was capable of. Because like people think that maybe this happened now, but my career started like 13, 14 years ago in my country, having my own stores, having to close, working for other people. So I was
There's a couple of things now that you said that I remember. You grew up with your family in that business. Then you started working for other designers in the business. But there's something that I want to make sure that we cover here. You were a dancer, a
yes,
ballet dancer,
yes, I was a ballet dancer for almost 8 years.
and
So
that's
we
what
have a
gets you excited about the costumes with the movement and the
exactly. So you did your research.
exactly. I know your profiles in many apps. Anyway, let's keep it clean. I'm kidding. But you were a dancer, and then you see the seam allowance and all of this stuff, and then you decide to become a fashion designer. And from what I read, you went to school. Was it 2 hours away from where you lived, or what was
Yeah.
2 hours away from where you lived?
Hmm?
What was
Why?
two hours
The
away?
school. The
The
school was
school.
2 hours away because it was like outside of the city. Because this is school the educate like professional ballet dancers. So the school is the entire day. We go from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we are all morning. Um, Practicing like different arts in the ballet. Like we are doing classical ballet, we are doing contemporary dance, we are doing jazz, we are doing like all the fine arts that you can imagine from with the body through painting to instruments. So that was basically like the education in the morning. Then we take a shower because we were messy all day running and jumping in our little black leotards with white tank tops. And then in the afternoon, we were having the regular classes like mathematics, science. So that was my education. So that's how I grew up for 8 years, just going to school, even going weekends to practices, because the school sometimes did like these little tours inside the country, but the company sometimes go outside. So some of the students, when they were like in more higher levels, they go with the company. So
When
when you finish at 16, like you have to go from 8 years to 16 to be able to have like the formation of a professional ballet dancer. So at the end, the school brings companies from other parts of the world, like the Royal Ballet and examples like that. From Paris, they brought companies too to do auditions to take the kids that were more talented, like outside for the other companies. But at that moment, I was like, I like the the technical part, but I don't like to be jumping in stage. Like that was not my thing. My thing was like be in the class, in the bar, doing the exercise and doing the repetitions. Like that's what I love, like more technical. I was not so go and do this one and all those things. I was like, that's not for me.
Let me
So
ask
that
you a
was
personal question. During the pandemic, when we were not able to go outside, would you like hold into a bar in your house and start doing pirouettes or something just to kill the time?
no, like I think sometimes I joke and I jump and I do like silly things, but I'm not able to do anything. Like the body
Anymore.
just get like oxidated, so your body don't remember the movement and anything. So
Yeah. Let's watch a little bit of the second part of the visit with Project Runway.
You know, it's so interesting, like looking at these, some of them feel a little overworked. Like they feel like you're trying too hard to make them cool and interesting. That's why I think this is so amazing, because it's actually quite simple. I think Sebastian's collection is really interesting, but he's trying to show everything that he can do in one look. And sometimes a really quiet, beautiful, simple piece can speak volumes. Nina's concern was that she wasn't too sure who your woman was that you were designing for.
Work on how you articulate what that woman is.
I always have a hard time making the story of the woman behind the collection, so maybe I need to figure it out and make everything look more cohesive.
Okay, good. So then you can still make a few new things, right?
A few new things, yes. Christian say my clothes look like I'm trying to match, and I agree. I always have a problem doing basic stuff. I'm just gonna have to try to control myself. You have to listen sometimes.
Okay.
All right. Do you know who your woman is? Who is Sebastian Grey's customer? Can you describe her to us?
Yes, it's a woman that is sexy, is educated, is a woman between 25 and 45 years old. She knows that through education she's able to achieve everything she wants in life, and she prefers quality instead of quantity. So she's very into textures because her education, so she know a lot about textiles. So she prefer pieces that are more temporal, they can last forever in her closet. So thanks to all those things in the show, like you learn to grow up so much more as a person and as a designer that even if you don't do nothing in the end, like just the grow and the advice and the things that the judges say to you help you to grow up.
I,
Really,
I,
really,
I
really.
I think it's because the stuff that they teach you in. I went to the Art Institute in Chicago, and it was also from like morning till night and blah blah blah. And it's a great school, one of the best, and blah blah blah. But it's not until you are out in the real world that you actually learn this kind of stuff that you're like, oh my god, who is my customer? You know what I mean? And one word that you didn't say that I do have to say when I see your stuff, it's strength. It's like powerful. Like I like, and I think Nina. Hold on, let me see. I think I have that where Nina
Well,
said, "Go ahead, you go, you go."
maybe I don't use the word powerful because I think with education that comes like naturally.
Okay, you just got me. Uh, but I think strength because I like the juxtaposition of and Nina said this, but I can see it also like the push and pull of like strength and soft. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I
Yeah.
see in your stuff. Um, Before we continue, I want to take a look of your because I know we're gonna show your new line, but I want us to look at your last season, which was the fall season, and I want to ask you a couple of questions on that because it comes back to the whole push and pull of strength. I mean, look at this woman in the second, right here in the teal dress with a belt. It's just so strong. And I live for this pleated blouse on the left. Uh, Talk to me about what was your inspiration for your lineage collection, the fall 2020?
For lineage, we try to do like homenaje. I don't know how you say that in English.
Homage, yeah, like an homage.
Uh, uh, yeah, for my grandparents, they are not here. So my grandfather was a tailor, and my grandmother loved everything that was weave and baskets and all those things. So we tried to like my grandfather was from Ecuador and my grandmother for Colombia. So in some point, Colombia was like one big country. Like there were like Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, what is Colombia right now, Panama. So some of the I try to take like the colors when you see it in the map. You can see all these like pastel tones of yellow, green, um, um,
I think
pink.
this little
I
blush,
think that's
yeah,
yeah,
orange.
like a blush, the orange. So that's how they start being divided the countries after the revolution. So I decide why not make this part of the inspiration and call it lineage, and that's like part of the history of my country. So we're gonna showcase like different like these five colors. So we are gonna be talking about the five different uh, countries that my country transformed. And some of the jackets were able to do that. They were able to transform in five different things. So that was like the inspiration and the
Homage. Yeah. I have a
homage
question. I have
that
a
we
question.
tried to do
Yeah.
for my grandparents.
I have a question because when you designed the fall 2020, that's you probably designed that in 2019, correct?
Yep.
Um, so, tricky question. So, fall 2020 is coming out, and there is a freaking pandemic that is putting a stop on everything. Yet, what I see from your collection is very much like a suit of armor, like a little bit of like I'm going to fight, like I am protected. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong, but I feel that kind of cocoon. I'm protected.
Well,
I'm not a soft bitch. You know what I mean? I'm like I'm gonna kick your butt. Is what I want to.
well,
Am I reading something wrong?
no, you're not. Like I love layering and I think suits and tailored outfits make not only women's but men's look like more strong and more ready for battle. So that's why I love do tailoring pieces. And that was one of the like the legacies that my grandfather gave me because he was a tailor. So working for this collection, like you say, we go 1 year ahead. So that was one of the trends for the fall. So that's why I decided to go more strong with the tailor and with the quilting and with the overlayering because it was going to be one of the trends that is going to be seen in
Little
this.
did you know that it was going to mean something even stronger during the pandemic. Let me, one thing, I loved when Nina said, all these outfit needs is a tag and it can be sold, get it out. You were one of the few people that Nina actually comments on something that strong. That's number one. Number two, how has the pandemic affected your business? And that's number one. And number two, how did you turn it around?
Well, it is something that before the pandemic we were working on e-commerce. We were working on a website because like we have here the brick and mortar, but this is more like my studio for create and do things. But we were more focused just to go 100% online and trying to maybe reach a couple of other online stores. But the pandemic, what did was like make me think more about my woman in the world, make it more globalized. So after meetings with different buyers, they say that yes, like what I was presenting was amazing, but they need something like more subtle and more soft because the world just changed really quickly. So my aesthetic and my designs have to like change with I have to react to what was happening to the world in that moment. So for the spring collection, we tried to do everything a little bit more soft, more oversized, more thinking in being more easy and more relaxed, not thinking that these clothes were going to be used inside the house, but because we were trying to give them like more freedom to the woman that was going to wear these pieces.
Well, I love your accessory line. I always believe, and I have to put this up because if anybody wants to see any of his gorgeous products, at joansebastiangrey.com, these are like conversation pieces. I think that for a man, I always say that you don't need 100 pieces of clothes, but you need a good watch, like a good reloj, a good watch. A
Yeah.
woman likes a good purse, but I love your accessories, and you have come up with some gorgeous handbags that I am assuming they are done from your family's business.
Yes, all the pieces of leather we made it in Colombia, and actually that bag is called the Lola, and is the name is for my grandmother because she loved these big tall bags where she can put like everything when she were going for groceries. So that's why we
So
create
that's
this
a big
one.
tote bag. I love, 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 love that one. But I love this other one. What is this one called?
That one
Mochila?
is called La Mochila.
A
Yes, it's
mochila.
inspired in the mochila that what you indigenous in my country they weave with different colors and different patterns. So we try to just take like the shape and we create it with our own leather technique, like to keep recreating all the different cultures and all the different like uh, yeah indigenous cultures we have.
For those people that are watching, mochila means backpack in Spanish, at least in Puerto Rico. I don't know
But
about
it's
everywhere.
more it is more like that like for us in Colombia and I don't know if in Latin America oh no not because you just say it. It is more like this little like round shape with this with the spread. That's it. That's the mochila.
Oh, so okay. So you see, learning from different from Colombia and Puerto Rico. I actually am living for this, and I don't. I want to say that it's a new product. I don't know if it is. Is it a new product?
Yes, it is a new
Love.
product. It's gonna be on the website maybe by the end because we are like I say when COVID hit, so we were trying to go 100% digital, but now like I'm working redoing everything, redoing all the content on the website, trying to come up with something more clear so the people are gonna have like the experience to go inside of a store. So we are organizing all that, and these are part of the products that we are gonna launch. So
I'm
there
gonna I'm gonna jump ahead, but are these the on the left? Those are the sandals right there, right?
Yes, those are the sandals. That's the new collection, the Ace Spring Summer 2021. And it's called Antique Traces. We did the pictures in Cali, Colombia in
Wait,
one
wait,
of
wait,
the
wait.
theaters.
We're gonna get there in a minute. But
Okay,
I wanted to show the sandals because they look so cute. We're gonna
thank
close with
you.
your new collection. But before
Those,
we
but
go ahead.
those sandals, they're the inspiration is from the alpargatas. Do you know, like the espadriles?
Yeah, espadrilles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because in Colombia they use the people they work the land, they use these shoes all year. So basically, when you see the bottom, they are like in cabuya tejidas, like
Oh, you're
weaving. Or
kidding. Oh my God, how
yeah, they are
beautiful.
like that. So everything is made by hand in the sandals. So they are really beautiful.
So I'm a size 10 as a man. I'm a 16 as a woman. So just get mine ready. I'm kidding. Uh, before we continue, I have to take a quick 30-second stop for a word from our sponsor, which is the Bella Reina Spa, which is where I get my skin treated and
Oh my God, I need to
I
go
get
there.
all bougied up with Bella Reina Spa. Let's take a second to watch the Bella Reina Spa. You know we got to take care of our skin because even if I gain a little weight, I still got to keep the face clean. You know what I mean?
Well,
um,
I need to go there.
yeah, you should. I'm going to talk to my friend Nancy Reagan. Yes, that's her name, the first lady of skincare. And I'm gonna see if we can hook you up for like a facial or something.
All right,
um,
Nancy. So if you're watching this, I'm gonna be there soon.
uh, be careful. She is watching. Nancy, if you're watching, he wants to come over. Question for you: what was the craziest thing? This is not rehearsed. The craziest thing that you did during the pandemic, not to get bored, or something that you thought I got to do this.
Oh my God, I hope I was bored. But I was in that moment like already working in the spring collection, and I was working in a plus size line collection that is gonna be launched this
I saw
month
some stuff on your
too.
Instagram. Yes.
Yeah, so that's we are trying to organize that too. It's gonna be really interesting. So I was like super busy, and on top of that, I'm doing a master's in management of luxury brands. So I was not bored. I was with homework, with the design. Like I was talking with factories in New York, with factories in LA, designing. Like this was something really funny that happened because when they were showing me the samples, I was doing this like, can you take here, take it here 2 inches? And they were like, okay, where? And I was like, here, right here. And
Oh my god.
that
That's
was like the way we learned that I have to like do the screenshot with the pencil, send the piece and like take it here. So it was crazy. So that's what we did in the quarantine. We were just talking with the factories, doing homework for school, and that's how we keep busy.
well, before I continue, I just want to say, and I'm gonna put it here so you could see it. Uh, where is it? Hold on, come on. Uh, you have to go to Bella Reina Spa because Miss Nancy Reagan is watching, and she said you have to come over for a facial. So I'm gonna
All
hook you guys up for a lovely facial because not that you need it because you're gorgeous, but like we need a little pampering, and Nancy is just one of the best, if not the best, in South Florida. All right.
right.
So let's continue. And after Project Runway, we showed the fall collection, and now we're gonna move into the newer collection. And oh, wait a minute. We have to go to another section because I'm a little Gemini and I go all over the place. There's a section in our show called Fashion News of the Week. And I actually make sure that the fashion news of the week were something that you were part of. And one of the fashion news of the week is that one day you're in and the next day you're out. Heidi Klum's 16-year-old daughter, Lenny, follows her
Oh my gosh,
in her
she's gorgeous.
yeah, she follows in her famous supermodel mom's footsteps in the first cover of Germany Vogue. What do we think about this gorgeous cover?
Well, the for me the cover is amazing. I love just the position of the colors. I love how it looks like a mini her, but in a more like it's more like avant-garde version. Like the face is more.
Well, you know what I love? I love that. I believe her father is Billy Joel. No, not Billy Joel. Yeah, Billy. No, that's Christy Blinkley. But I think no, it's Seal. I don't even know who her father is. But they do. Story of my life. Who's the father? Who's the father? I just think that they are both gorgeous, and you know what? She's actually following the steps of other Cindy Crawford and Kate Moss. Both of their daughters were they're supermodels. They're in the modeling industry.
They are, yes. I don't remember the name of what is the name of the Cindy Crawford?
I don't
The
know her
daughter?
daughter. No, I don't know, but I know that she's in the business as well as
Yeah,
Kate Moss.
like her face. She's been doing so many things right now.
She has. Another thing that I thought it was perfect for you is the fact that Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote and started on Hamilton on Broadway, and he's mega famous,
Wow.
is going to be writing the music for Disney's Encanto. And Encanto is a new Disney movie that is based on it's based in Colombia, your lovely hometown. And this is all based on a family that possesses special powers, and they live in a magical home. Look at this house; it's gorgeous. And the daughter, who is the star of the film, does not have the powers. Let's take a 30-second view of Encanto, shall we?
Oh my god.
All right, so there we go.
Wow.
Encanto.
That's gonna be crazy. You know what happened a couple of days ago? They were blowing my phone with this little app and the music, and they were like, "Oh my God, look what Disney is doing!" And I was like, "This has to be a spam." Like I don't know what people were sending me, and now like that's gonna be really cool in the music. I love that they
I
are putting another image of my country outside.
I tell you, you Colombians are taking over the place. I'm sorry. Oh. Speaking of Disney movies, I know that you were involved in creating a special look for one of my favorite movies. Let's take a look at that, shall we?
I am so excited to see what you made inspired by Mulan.
I really relate to Mulan's story, so I can wait to show you.
Is it gorgeous?
It is really nice.
Quiet, composed, graceful, disciplined. These are the qualities we see in Mulan.
I love how she came to terms with who she truly is, despite what was expected of her.
Actually, that happened to me after winning Project Runway. Winning the competition gave me that confidence to be more honest and true to myself.
When they find out who you are, they will show you no mercy.
Mulan really had to kind of hide who she was, and I think with fashion, it is about transformation. You can transform yourself into whatever you want to be. I love that about designing, and I love that about seeing other designs.
I want my design for Mulan to express the layers of her character. So I'm using leather because it's like a shield to protect her, and the weaving looks kind of like an armor. And chiffon represents her freedom and self-expression.
I love it. It's cool and bold and powerful, and I really see Mulan here. How fabulous.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really proud of what I create.
I'm Hua Mulan. I will bring honor to us all.
Disney's Mulan in theaters March 27th.
I am gagging over this gown, and we have a picture, and we're going to talk over the picture, but look at this. Look at this gown. It is sickening. It is all the detail work, all the strength of Mulan, the pushing and pulling of female and male and powerful, and the color red is no joke. Talk to me about what you want to say. Anything that you want to say?
Well, for this was like really crazy and really challenging because I was in New York. I think it was like the last day of the New Year Fashion Week, and they call me and they say, "Oh, Sebastian, we have this proposal for you to do a commercial for Disney and make a dress inspired for the movie Mulan." And I was like, "What? Yeah, we're gonna pick you up right now. They're gonna take you to the theater to get inspired by the movie." And I was like, "Wait a minute! Like I have like 20 bags with me full with my collection. Like, don't worry, bring it to the theater." So I went to the theater with the 20 bags. We watched the movie, and 1 week later, we were filming the commercial. So I have to call immediately to my father and my brother in Colombia. Like, we need to make a dress for Mulan. Can you guys help me? So we start working like super quick. So the idea was, like I say, try to give her that armor and that protection that she needs in the battle. So we were trying to like blend this female side with this warrior side that she was having like conflicts on her, that when she finally was able to put it together. So we see that things beautiful happen when you're more honest to yourself. So that's what we tried to do with this dress.
Well, I love the fact that it's kind of like, oh my God, I'm so strong and blah, blah, blah. I'm a man kind of thing. And then she takes her helmet off, and then she comes out as drag queen Mulan. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But it's just like so sickening, the train and the elegance of it all. This is what I love about your stuff, because it's the softness and hardness of both of it. And before we gotta close in a minute, I have to show a word for our second sponsor, which is the Marrero collection. I came up with a fleece, protective fleece line. Let's take a look at the Marrero collection, our second sponsor. And that's my extent of designing. Putting a cape on somebody, protected,
But
flee.
those look cool.
Thank you. So let's continue to your new collection. And your new collection is, what's the name of the new collection?
It's called Antique Traces.
Antique Tracings.
Traces, like
No,
trazos,
treasure,
como,
treasure, tesoros.
no, tracing,
Oh,
como,
tracing, like tracing. Tracing.
como de trace.
Yeah, dilo en español.
No sé. I don't know how you say that in Spanish.
Tracing, like looking through the through the antiques and following through, right?
like like that little that little like how you say like como algo que se deja en el aire como un trazo como que se va
Yeah,
dejando
like a
al
trace,
paso.
like a antique tracing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exacto.
We got it. English is my second language. English is your second language. Oh, second language that way. Okay, so let's talk about that. And when did you create this collection? When did you start working on this collection? Were you already during COVID, or were you okay?
Yeah, we were doing COVID already, and we start working, like I say, with the different factories we have working right now. So we were trying to come up with something that was a little bit more soft, a little bit more subtle, trying to come up with prints that were a little bit more interested in the camera because a lot of the women were going to be doing Zoom meetings. Uh, so it was a collection that was inspired by what I know best for my ballet, for my dance, for the salsa. So it is a collection that permits the move, the freedom. It is super easy to combine. It's for all women. So these pieces are super oversized and you just like tie it with a belt. So that's what it gives shape to the clothes. So that's why we try to do it like that to
I,
be
I
able to give to everybody like something that was easy to put on and easy to style, and they were not gonna have to like overthink when they were using these outfits.
I love these oversized. Is this a blouse and a skirt, or is this a dress?
It is a dress. It's kind of like a masculine shirt,
Yes.
oversized.
Yes.
Uh, and we did it like long. So even I don't know if you can see there in the bottom, but the finish of the dress is like the masculine shirts that are finished with that shape.
Oh,
And we put the leather skirt on top just like to try to play with the outfit and show different ways to style your clothes.
I love this print. Do you design your own prints?
Yes, we design everything here at home. We designed this print that is like a rope. So because we were inspired by the culture, so this is like for summer is like the rope they throw in the ocean to grab the fishes. So that was kind of like the inspiration for the print.
And then you
Uh,
throw this hard, quote unquote, hard looking overskirt, or what do you call this piece?
yeah, this is a leather skirt. That one is made in the knitting leather.
Right.
So it is perfect for summer. So you can wear it on top. It's not gonna be super hot. It permits the pass of air. So you can wear it just with a little bikini, and you put the skirt on top, and you're ready to go whatever you need. So they are very versatile and they are very easy. Like it's just like put it on and you don't need to do nothing else. Because
We were
sometimes clothes have like this a lot of like things that you need to do to be able to stylish in the right way, but these are super easy.
absolutely, absolutely. We were talking about prints, and there is a print that really caught my attention, and it's this one right here on the left. And I don't know if people can see it, but there are hands that are
Yeah.
kind of all over the place. Talk to me about this print and how did this come about?
Well, that was come about because we like to work a lot with our hands, and we like a lot to do techniques that are made by hand. So this was trying to put like all the hands of the artisans that we have and the people is working with us. So it was kind of like a thank you for all the people that is working with us. So we try to put all the different hands and all the things we can do with these two little bodies here. So that was the inspiration for this print.
Well, this is the slide that I showed before about the sandals, but the print, what it meant for me, I'm just gonna say it. I felt like we need to stand together and we need to hold each other hands during this horrible period that we're going through. So I'm just giving that to you because that's what I got,
That's beautiful.
right?
Thank you that you feel that
I
for that
did. I
for that
did. Like
print.
when I saw it, I was just like, oh my God, this print is giving me life. It's very much like we need to stick together. We need to hold each other hands because we're in this together. Um, uh, Before we go into the next slide, I just want to touch base, touch a little bit on this cha-cha skirt. It's not a skirt.
It is a belt.
It's a belt. It's a fringe belt.
Yeah,
Right?
it is a
I
French
love,
belt. It's
love.
entire made in leather.
Yes.
And because the inspiration for this was a mix of ballet and salsa, so this is kind of like a representation of the salsa outfits that you see. They have a lot of French, so when they move, they can see they move all over the place. So that was kind of what we tried to do with this belt.
Let's talk about these other two sickening dresses. Talk to me about this because this on the left, I believe the one on the left is linen.
Yes, it's linen with leather on the bottom. So
Okay.
again, we were just trying to create things that were easy, that were uh, very easy for the eye, that they were not too complicated. And the women that were gonna wear these outfits, like they are gonna feel they are ready to do anything in these looks because like the shapes are not too complicated. The silhouettes are silhouettes that we wear every time. So and for summer are perfect. So they are natural materials. We don't like to work with things that are plastic. And something that we are trying to do with our leather right now is trying to source it without chrome. So in that way, it's more uh, easy with the environment. So not letting traces of chemicals.
Well,
And the one
okay, sorry. Go ahead.
and the one on the right side, it is made on leather too. So we create the lines, weaving different colors of leather to give that like how do you call marinero?
Like a sailor feel, like
Like
a
a like yeah,
nautical.
like a
Nautical. Yeah.
nautical vibe. Yes.
What I love about this is that I feel like this is the closure of Christian Siriano saying that some of the stuff look overworked,
Exactly.
and now this is not overworked. This is I don't want to say simple because it is not simple, but this is
But it is.
it looks simple, but this is gorgeous and it just looked effortless. That's the word because we're both
That's the word.
Latinos. English is our second language, but I think the word that we're looking for is effortless, sin mucho esfuerzo. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, there are dresses that you just put on, you put lipstick, and you're done.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming down for a landing. It's 10 o'clock. I just want to, first of all, thank you for sitting down with me to chat for a whole hour on your busy, out
Thank
of
you
your
so
busy
much.
schedule. What is next for Sebastian Grey?
So what is next is we're gonna launch this collection on pre-order. So it's gonna be launched in 5 days. It's gonna work like this. We're gonna have it for 2 months on pre-order. So this is like the time we were working if you were working with wholesalers. So the idea of cutting the wholesale right now is to give more affordable prices to the people that wants to uh, buy our things. So that's why we are going to work with 2 months on pre-order and then another 2 months to deliver, to be able to produce and to be able to do everything and to give them the best price possible.
So this particular collection is not going to be shown on a runway because there is no need for it. You're wait a minute. I'm not showing another video. Hold on one second, but I am. So there is the difference of Sebastian Grey, Project Runway winner, and having this gorgeous filming at a gorgeous theater. Where is the theater in Colombia?
The theater is in Colombia. That was what I was trying to say when you showed the first picture. But like the idea of going to that theater was like I grew up in that theater, so that was like the meaning of antique traces too, like going back to all
Back to
those
your
places
roots. Back to your roots.
where I grew up, but more than my roots, like the places that I spent my childhood, like the theater, my ballet school, like getting inspired for my ballet and my salsa background. So that was the idea of this collection, and that's why we decided to do the pictures in the theater. That theater is in Cali, and I did so many crazy things when I was little in that theater. So that's why we decided to make it there. But like we were saying to everybody, this collection is gonna be on pre-order in 5 days. So don't miss the amazing introductory price we're going to have. And hopefully you can be patient enough to wait for the items to arrive to your home.
Well, the thing about your collection, and I know we're going over a little bit, is just that I just feel like your work is not just clothes. To me, they're just more like work of arts that you need to hold on a minute because you know that there are some people working on the craftsmanship and the detail of this leather work. That this is, and this is something that I was thinking, and I forgot about saying this before, and I know that we're over, but I just feel like your work is not. Don't please don't be upset. I'm trying to compliment you. It's not, it's not seasonal. Like your stuff is kind of like a watch that you can wear every season. Like if you buy one piece, it's not fall Sebastian Grey. Although I don't know if I'm hurting your business when I'm saying
No, it is something that we try. We put fall and we put winter to the collections because it's like a norm for the people to understand. But it's clothes that you can wear regardless of the season and regardless of the year. They are seasonless. They transcend trends, like because we try to work with things they don't belong to the trend. They may be well created, or they are so unique they don't belong to anything, so they can transcend the trend, and they are gonna be atemporal, and people are gonna be able to wear it from now to 10 years later, and they're gonna still looking uh, like they were for the moment.
that's what excited me so much about your collection. I do have a very of course you recognize works of art in others because something anyway that was not
Thank you so much.
yeah it's literally works of art. My friend Gretchen from Seattle, she's amazing and she's a gorgeous photographer, and I forgot what I was gonna say. There you go. And I do have to say that it just not it's just not seasonal. Before we go, and I know that we always have as a designer, and I go to some art schools to talk. I actually taught fashion illustration at the Art Institute in Chicago, and I know that you have mentor people as well. One of the things that I always say is like, it's not easy being a designer. It's not easy being a designer. You have to, in your case, from what I read, when you came to the States and you had given up on design, you actually were cleaning homes, you were taking care of dogs, you were working at a bar. In my case, I had to eat a lot of macaroni and cheese because I couldn't afford things. To this day, I have to keep readapting to things that I don't do because as an illustrator, the work is not there. And I feel like we are living in a world where these new kids that want to be designers are living in a Kardashian world where they just think that you put it in the microwave and then you become famous, and they don't understand the struggle. Before we go, Miss Joan Sebastian Grey, any words of wisdom, like real, make it real, words of wisdom for the people that want to be a designer? Any words of wisdom?
Well, for the people that want to be a designer, I will say that it's really important to learn the entire process of creating a garment, from the pattern, the sketching, the muslin, the drape, the sewing, the conceptual piece, then changing the details, and understanding like the entire marketing activity that you're gonna have to do after that. Because one thing is to create a garment, one thing is to draw the garment, and one thing is to start commercializing this item after you create it. So that's something that for me was a little like shocking because in Colombia we were working totally different. But here is more like you have to have like all these steps. And in order to be a designer, like you need to know about marketing, you need to know about illustration, you need to know about Photoshop, you need to know about what is happening in the world depending on what market you want to go. So like you need to get information from other countries, what is happening in politics in other parts of the world, to understand how that is going to affect what you are creating. And that's what I will say. Like try to understand more about what is happening in the world, what is affecting societies in another parts of the world. If you are trying to create something, and understand a lot about the fashion history, like how things started, because there is how we can take those things to move it forward. Like we always are able to like go back to so many things that we are creating and so many talented people are doing already, and fashion have such a um desperdicio, how do you say that,
Waste. Like
such a waste of
wasted. Waste.
creativity.
Yeah.
Yes, they're just going through the books of fashion history, of history in general. Like you can see like the costumes and the details and so many things that you can bring back again and move forward. That's what I will say. Like they have to get preparing a lot of aspects in order to start working in the industry.
Well, Sebastian, I cannot thank you enough for coming to Trendencias Live. Thank you for making some time out of your very, very busy schedule. I wish you
Thank you
nothing
so
but the
much.
best. I'm going to put you on the spot because you are live now, and I hope that you can come back whenever you do something different or whenever we want to just take it to another level and having a good time and talking about fashion in general.
Deal. It's gonna be a date. So put the date, and when we have ready something, we will come back here.
Oh my God, I have a date with Sebastian Grey! Until then, before we go, can you please say goodbye to all our Latin friends?
To all our friends
En
that are
español, en
watching.
español, en español.
Oh, para todos nuestros amigos que han estado viendo todo este tiempo, de verdad que muchísimas gracias por todo el apoyo que siempre nos han mandado. Estamos aquí por ustedes y para ustedes, así que muchísimas gracias por dejarnos entrar a sus casas y compartir un ratico de todo lo que nos ha pasado en estos momentos y en lo que hemos estado trabajando. Así que muchísimas gracias. Espero pues hayan podido disfrutarse esta horita con nosotros.
Until then, if you didn't understand that, he's just as charming in Spanish, if not more. My name is Carlos Marrero. His name is Sebastian Grey.
Sebastian Grey.
And you are watching Trendencias. Bye!